Zero featured, like, at the start. Like, we're gonna show Zero later. But for, like, the moment, I really want to talk about Bigbelly here. Bigbelly is legitimately the first Vanguard deck that I felt such a strong connection to. At first, I thought that sort of loving connection might have gone to my first deck, Gear Chronicle, with Chronojet, because I'm a guy who enjoys scarves and motifs like that. I have my own gray scarf and such. You know, my old pony Sona was using the scarf all the time as its main accessory. But then, things changed. Playstyles got revealed that was very unlikable. And I just couldn't wrap my head around like trying to go and play certain decks like that. So, in the end, I eventually gave up the deck and was looking for a new deck to like play around with, something I could actually like go for. And when I first saw Bigbelly, it wasn't the Legion that I was able to play immediately that drew me in. It wasn't even like stuff like because I know, like, when I got my Great Nature deck, I did not have Crayon Tiger. I had to buy the Crayon Tigers. For a good price, too. I believe it was between 10 to 20 bucks for each of them. And now, I'm not gonna underestimate and say, even though Crayon Tiger is my avatar, and is my favorite unit of all time, Bigbelly is my favorite G-Boss unit. For the facts of his artwork here in his very first iteration was the thing that drew me in completely. Now, this was years before I became a furry. Let's get that straight out. I was in the Brony fandom at the time. No, not was. I still am, but I was in the Brony fandom at the time, not even thinking about furry stuff or anything like that. It's just the artwork here, while I was like attending college here. It seemed like amazing brushwork here, being done here for like the fur and for the frills, like giving like an aristocratic feel for like a professor that was teaching via the Greek method, in which he needed a small board and was teaching to the students otherwise here. But the thing about Bigbelly that's really interesting was he was a practical guy. He wasn't just about the fancy dress code. He wanted to make sure his students really did take in the lessons to heart, and he was willing to write on his own fur all the extra information that he couldn't fill in that small build blackboard that you see there on this art piece here, and just keep on writing it continuously. Like, this is actually stuff written about for like his lore as a G-Boss unit. He's not even a major player. Like, some of the units that are in his deck become major players, like SAS Yapon, helping out with Asha's escape from Neo Nectar's sanctuary as Gridor was making an attack during, like, the Zeroth Dragon War. But, Bigbelly himself, he's such an honorable guy, and also he's over 100 years old. So yeah, longevity for this panda be good. Like, and also, like, the artist for this artwork, like, let's talk about him for a second. Because this artist did not dip their toes in only in Great Nature. They also helped with Gear Chronicle in its early stages with being the one who did the artwork for Timepiece Draco Kid. And that person I'm speaking to is by the name of Nijima Kick on Twitter or on Tumblr. This guy over here is currently, like, his current endeavors involve around the next Shadowverse anime, which is looking like to be a Buddy Fight ripoff. And I'm honestly saying, good for them if they're gonna rip off something that actually has a good formula. Because their original formula was so cookie cutter and dry, I don't want to watch it at all again. Even though my only two favorite things from that show was honestly just the girl characters. just because of how interesting their plots were, despite how simple they were. But for Nijima Kick, they were able to do Mini Belly over here with a little nice side profile of Bigbelly right there. Look at the picture here. Look at this full artwork. Like, the little students here are panda cubs. And they're just so precious. Like, just being studious. Like, he accepts students of all ages. It's not college students. It's any type of student. Like, his place of teaching. He has, like, a little conductor thing for, like, a book that he's reading off of. His fur underneath that he has, like, his belly showing up. And that's probably why he's called Bigbelly. Just because of, like, he shows his belly all the time just to teach his kid. I feel like these are, like, his kids, even though they're supposed to be students. But, yeah. That's really the thing about this artwork that I really do appreciate. Like, how Bigbelly, like, dresses himself. His eyewear is so unique and interesting. Like, it brings me back over to Gear Chronicles, like, Gear aesthetic, or the steampunk aesthetic, with, like, the goggles and such. Except for, in this case, it's a dual-sided monocle. And then his hat is quite pristine as well. Like, I just really want to see more artwork of this type, in the future and such. And then he continues on to do other artwork for, like, Shadowverse and such. And he does the Fenrir Stride Fodder. Yeah, he does the Fenrir Stride Fodder and Hot Eat. So this is also relevant for those who did the Genesis Clan event. Yeah, who did the cube wolf puppies of gods? That's right, Nijima Kick did. And then Omni Science Dragon Harimthurs. One of the earliest strides for Great Nature from Fighters Collection. He did that one. It was a reliable card that was actually useful more than Finiax was. Man, until we got the better strides and such, Harimthurs was a need card for when you strided with Bigbelly. So, that's really all I gotta say about it. And now, let's talk about his anime artwork for a second. Looking at this specific picture from Team Trinity Dragon. When we see Igniting Tornado, Susano, and then Bigbelly at last. It's such an eclectic group of different units, but he has a really nice bow tie. While he does look a bit fuzzy for details and not really as detail oriented as I would like to see for Bigbelly, he still is a respectable figure. He does not have any writing on his chest because, of course, anime. The budget, you gotta have to nix some spots just for the sake of this. This is why I appreciate Vanguard for being a very art intensive subject. But also, yeah. I really do feel like Bigbelly is just one of those, amazing artworks that we can't turn away from. Even if other people try to redo the artwork, like in V, all the way back in BT11. Like here, the artist here was Song Kijin, whose only other contributions to the trading card artwork industry was working on the Commander 2019 re-illustrations for the reprint of Minotaur for two Minotaur creatures. One of them being a Planeswalker, and the other one just being like a strong creature in general, like shown over here. Looking over Angath, the Flame Chain. You could see a similar artwork for the V artwork here, in which it tries to mimic the same paint stroke quality for the fur for the neck, which is a very key detail for Bigbelly. But over here, it just seems like his belly is very closed, and he's not really he's just only reading the story while while like or like writing down like or writing this stuff down like in a journal. It's not really as profound as the first artwork, but it's still like an okay follow-up. Not really the best one. So yeah, all I just really know. Yeah, Kite, your puppy was very associated with the furries. Yeah, and then also Song's only other piece of artwork for Vanguard, from what I could find on Google, was literally Angry War Dragon War Bio from EB09. Yeah, I think his Bigbelly artwork was the best one here. While his Magic the Gathering contributions were good and very good for like showing the fur on the Minotaurs. So yeah, so if you guys have any questions about like wanting to ask more about like if you guys want to see like maybe like the future forms of Bigbelly and me talk about their artworks, we could go ahead and go into that if you want to. Or if not, we could just simply switch back over to like just going into Vanguard 0. So how do you guys feel right now? Because I really want to talk about this. I really wanted to talk about this for a good while. And don't worry, this is actually going to be put on as a YouTube video on my own YouTube channel, like Gunmetal Gator. So don't worry if you guys just wanted to catch this but wasn't able to catch the live stream. Because I definitely want to share this to the people out there. Well, Kite, you're putting it up to me? Well, I think let's just go ahead and talk about like some other stuff then. So yeah, thank you Ninja About Kickin', thank you Song Kijin for like your contribution for the artwork. But now let's just look up actively right now for the the next step in Bigbelly's evolution. Teacher's Cane of Affection. Or how should I call it? The most pointless upgrade for Bigbelly. This unit here. Done by Daisuke Izuka. A more popular artist for like Vanguard arts and such. Like let's see over like in their Twitter. Like looks like they've done Fire Emblem. Yep, some Fate stuff. Okay. Some stuff about the whole, oh yeah, they're the ones who redid the artwork for the end. Yeah, now I'm starting to remember. Oh god, yeah. Oh, wait. No, wait. No, that's not Daisuke. This is really kind of like interesting. Like going through these pieces of artwork and such. Not really seeing Vanguard. Just a lot of other franchises that they put their artwork touch in. But yeah, I think that's enough. But yeah, Teacher's Cane of Affection, its usefulness, it's not really that useful. This was not an upgrade. This was something that just had success, and you only used it in success-dependent decks. And success-dependent decks weren't really needed. Like, people were still mainly playing Crayon Tiger at this point. Which, that wasn't success-dependent. And even if you were playing those decks, Crayon Tiger was still a main must-have 4 card for this deck. Just so that you'd be able to, like, do this and such. Like, it just forces you to call a unit onto the field instead of, like, in the case of the original Bigbelly, was more about like you need to have rear guards on the field when you're about to stride. That's the only upgrade that this card has. And I got this from the actual set, which I got a box for just because Trinity Dragon was like my favorite characters during the time of G. At this point of G Next. And I really did support the idea of like seeing like these minor characters actually get a featured box with their pictures on it. Even though Carl never did get his specialized G boss unit because that was given to one of the company players. But yeah, G did not do any favors for the second evolution here. But what does that leave us with? This Bigbelly is just kind of a bit too much. More Japanese, like a teacher aesthetic with like a feudal era thing going on. With a bad mustache. Losing like that very colorful and nice look shape and fur. It even, like, even the face looks really off to me. The only thing that looks decent is really just the hat. So, yeah. Maybe not the hat. It looks a bit too tacked on. So, yeah. Let's just move on to the actual good stuff. Before Teacher's Cane, there is one important unit that we need to talk about. And that one was Saint Sage Professor Bigbelly. The accumulation of all artwork here. This is how you do a Generation Stride Fusion. Well, not a Stride Fusion. Is that the right term for like what the first stride for like Tri 3 was? Or was that like the second time in which they actually fused with their stride potentials? Either way, famous Professor Bigbelly's like alternative future self is a living legend for how amazing it worked with blue becoming the centerpiece instead of like the dark seafoam green that he was working with before. Like, and it shows that like when we get to the final form of Bigbelly in the G era, blue was the right choice to stick with him. It's just a beautiful artwork of like going into an astral void and just having millions of students just gather around from all around the cosmos just to listen to your legendary lecture. Or in the case of your opponent is the example to be made of in front of his many students. This is why Saint Sage is one of the only cards I have 2 SPs of in the actual thing. I legitimately love the heck out of this SP artwork. And wish I could actually play it in Premium. But you know how Premium goes. The newer cards are the better. So I can't use one of my big aces in the hole. But yeah. Let's just go ahead and finish up the discussion. Final Bigbelly, here we come. Where are you? Just have to simply just change the word. Nope. Oh wait, I forgot. This is not the Japanese version. In English, we went better. We called him amazing. Because that's what he really is. Amazing Professor Bigbelly. It combines the 2 aesthetics of Teacher's Cane and Famous, rolls it into one, and makes him look like a Mr. Tinkerer of sorts. With teachers lovingly hugging him, or even looking at his book and such, with him wielding his mighty quill of power. And he's wearing overalls. He has like an amazing ruby red ribbon with a blue diamond as adorned on it. His belly is shown in full display, fully letting go of the aristocratic fashion sense he had at the start of everything, getting away of like all of his clothes just to show what he really is from the inside out. His passion for teaching has been discovered with the power of miracles. That is legitimately what he does. He gained access to one of the best skills of the game, being Crayon Tiger, and becomes a mini Crayon Tiger as a grade 3, which is still possibly being used to this day in G decks or premium decks. Like, this is one boss unit that you can't not love. From the zoo booster, he was not a washout. He was one of the best things of it. Asha 2, Gridorg 2. Okay, there was no losers in it. Maybe Machinings, but nah. I mean, Machinings would later on get actual decent support at the start of V, but then that was it. For like the first year of V, just actually having like a good V deck for either Machinings, well, or no, more likely just the premium version of Mega Colony using the Machinings was what people were using Machining stuff for. So yeah. So I really do dig Amazing. I do dig Amazing so much. I really hope like you guys can fully show your appreciation for Bigbelly when it comes to like his clan event, and hopefully in the future maybe Teacher's Cane might get a better effect. But if they keep the effect the same as it is, I mean, he'll be good to bringing out units. But my best guess is just wait for Amazing if you want to really devote your efforts in making the best Bigbelly deck as fast as possible. But until then, I think that shit about does it. I really feel like we are really going for it strong here, you know? These units that these particular artists have done. Wait, let me see something. That's the same artist. Yeah, that's Nijima Kick. But let me just see what Teacher's Cane's artist was. Because I know for a fact that wasn't the same artist. Yeah, Daisuke Inuzuka. Worst thing to ever happen in Great Nature. Just never put your mitts into Great Nature. This was lazy. This was terrible. I don't care about the Japanese garb. Just none of that Bigbelly. None of that Bigbelly. That's it. So yeah. In the end, we're going to now switch our focus onto the actual stuff.